And I would like to welcome our moderator, but before that, our topic is keeping the rabbit out. Carpe Diem for sugar export. Welcoming our moderator, Miss Kiran Wadhwana. Can I request you to join us on stage? Miss Kiran? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Mr. Kiran. Can we please have a loud round of applause for Mr. Kiran Wadhwana? Thank you so much to our moderator for joining us today. Please have a seat, sir. Welcoming our panelists, Rahil, Shaikh, Rajesh, Jain, Anshul, Sharma. Requesting all our panelists to please join us on stage and take their seats. And I hand over to our moderator, Mr. Kiran Wadhwana. Over to you, sir.
Right. Good evening, everybody. It's an interesting session. We are talking about exports when the government has banned exports. But having said that, we must analyze what the impact has been on this ban that has happened, and how do we make, how can we suggest the government so that the disruption that takes place due to sudden bans or midnight bans that we have do not happen in the future, and we can recommend some solutions how to go about it, because this ban issue is something that probably is going to happen every few years. It happened a couple of years, 3 or 4 years ago. It might happen next 3 or 4 years. And it is understandable because, the first priority is domestic production, domestic consumption. Second priority is ethanol, and whatever is left is exports. Having said that, I just want to understand, we had this ban in the midnight of May 13th at 12:04 p.m. a.m. on 14th of May. I just want to understand from each of these different sectors, what has been the impact that they have faced. And, Rahil is obviously from the trade and manufacturing side. He can give a very interesting insight on what happened to them, how they are dealing with it, and they can give me a suggestion of how to ensure that, what can the government do not to make it so disrupting to the trade.
Thank you, Kiran bhai. First of all, on the shocks of ban, and we have been facing this since 2005, I think. I think I must have probably seen about 7 bans by now. So shocks of that kind of is something which we know when the exports are announced, that if the crop is failed, our estimates are something which went terribly wrong for last 2 years. I mean, we were at 33, 34 million ton and an export was possible. And as we moved on to around 28.3, export was not possible. So I think as far as the trade is concerned, I think our markets were Sri Lanka, our markets were Afghanistan, our markets were Djibouti. So these were the 3 places where we were shipping out sugar to. So mainly a flat price market. So we were not really an impactful character on the world market. So if you really see after the ban, technically the market have come down by about 2 cents. So the world market didn't need us actually. So we were doing some window shopping here and there. So our 3 markets were Sri Lanka, Afghanistan and Djibouti. So fairly, what caught us now as a trade and as a miller side is that the businesses, the market which you create in the world market, it takes a lot of time for you to make your reputation there as a buyer, as a brand, as a quality. And this sudden stopping of any commodity, what technically it does, it harms our reputation in such a way that to rebuild this exercise, it's going to take again a long time. I mean, people will again be, when again a next export announcement will come in, I mean, we will be doing a short-term businesses rather than again a long-term business. So until we sort of, to make this reputation in the market is the biggest challenge which we face. I mean, there are advances which are paid to the mills, which get stuck. Then you have a monthly quota mechanism. So if I have somebody else's sugar in my balance sheet, now I have to request him to write a letter to the government in order to allow me to sell in the domestic market. Otherwise, I am under the breach of the Essential Commodities Act. The GST is another problem. I mean, you take out under the LUT, and then if you want to sell it into the domestic market, then you have to pay the GST back to the sugar mill, get a debit note, credit note, and then again wait for him to give you that green light to sell the sugar. So I mean, if you make a flow chart of the problem, I mean, I can go on and on and on and on, and then I'm sure that that any notices will come after 12 months. So to cut the long story short, I think personally, I think our reputation in the world market is such that we are a very short-term exporter. Our quality, because of the quota mechanisms, are 650 sugar mills supplying 650 brands of sugar in the world market, and different qualities, different packing, different markings, and then we don't have any hedges. So if you sort of if you look at the export which is banned, we suddenly have the US dollars which need to be again rebought into the market, and there is no one to sort of, the compensation for that is large. So I think the monetary side losses are there. There is compliance issues are there. So I think I would personally feel that government should engage with the exporters in a way that if they wish to give a quota, they can give an export quota to the exporter, and then do not dismantle those. I mean, let that, like a DGFT can give you an export order, and against that you continue to export, rather than banning it off the cuff. So, you can always have your contract registered. There can be mechanism to not give these shocks to the market, basically. So this is my opinion. I mean, as I mentioned, that compliance issues are there, monetary losses are there, and face value, which is the biggest loss, I mean, we all face here.
Very interesting and interesting suggestion. We have to see how government can look at that. Mr. Rajesh Jain is basically exports of other food commodities like rice and other ones, and he's also faced bans. So, Mr. Rajesh Jain, what are the implications when, say, broken rice got banned, or exports of all those items got banned? How did it impact your trade? Because it's slightly different from the sugar trade, but banned nonetheless. And what would you recommend to the government? How would they ensure or reduce the disruption in the trade? Rajesh, please.
Thank you, Kiran bhai. Ban has been parallel with the grains exports, because the policies of the government has never been on the fundamental basis. It all has been on the basis of the sentiments and the price mechanism which is being going on in India. So ban of wheat in 2022, that was again on 21st of May. Suddenly, all of a sudden, 3 vessels were under loading, and all of a sudden we came to know in the morning 6 o'clock, the DGFT issued a notification that the exports of wheat and wheat products has been banned. Then in the same year, we came to know that white rice exports duty has been imposed. Then the white rice export has been banned. Then the broken blanket ban was given. So series of episodes were going on. But unfortunately or fortunately, we can say we were very, very comfortable in the stocks position of both wheat and rice. But the hit was taken on both the commodities, and we lost almost 14 to 15% of the market with our competitive countries like Pakistan, Cambodia, and Vietnam. And what the other side of the effect was that the importing countries who were importing, they were trying to become self-sufficient. They started growing paddy, like the country like Burkina Faso or say Nigeria. They've started producing paddy and they are promoting, although the cost of their paddy is 3x in comparison to what India has been producing. But it has been a replacement. So this was one of the phase. Like sugar also, you can, as Rahil Bhai was saying, he missed one particular subject, that was forex cover. So which is again a big risk which we need to face when the ban is being imposed onto us. Because the banks doesn't look where the ban has been there by DGFT and they will cancel the forex cover. Government doesn't work on the suggestions, they work on their own wills and wisdoms. I have my mentor sitting in front of me. It will be very difficult for me to speak and express anything which is in a government sector. They will be accepting it accordingly. Simple way, they should need to talk to the industry. They need to understand the pulse and the market reputation, which is globally being made by the exporters and the trading community. Rice we are doing almost 42 to 46%. Suddenly this basmati exports got affected by the Middle East war. So we are not getting any other market. And there is no assistance from the government where what we need to do. Non-basmati, we are again back into the market since last 2 years. There, by the grace of the God and with the blessing of the government, we are not facing any kind of a ban or a duty or a restrictions. So in order to cope up with the entire export market, which we keep on losing and gaining it, it's all because of the supply and demand and the prices. So government need to support us with a consistent policy. So at least for 2 to 3 years, even if anything is going wrong, we can correct it immediately. So at least for a long, not for a very long term 5 years plan or something, at least for 2 to 3 years, they need to focus and they need to support and understand the industry.
Thank you, Rajesh. Anshul, you've been an international trader earlier, now you work for Reliance. But in your opinion, what has been the impact of this ban on from the international markets? Yes, we understand that even after the ban, the international markets actually fell down. So it's not had a, they don't look at us very much. But even then, there have been traders internationally, international trade houses who bought sugar from India. And how has their impact been, and what do you expect them to behave going forward? And how can the government, ensure this doesn't happen? I mean, this kind of disruption doesn't happen going forward.
Well, adding to the point what Rahil Bhai said, that there are exporters, trade houses, then the values which are at the stake. When we are coming up with some policies, we are giving some headways to the trade, to the industry, that government is ready for the export. But I would say that it was not like warlike situation that has been developed or evolved overnight. Since we are all aware about the crop numbers, we have been discussing it from the past 3 months. And in the March, when we had some additional export quota, in fact, government was talking that 500,000 ton to give more. Then it was surprised that in March, on one side, you are saying that, okay, go ahead, export. And overnight that you are taking call, it's banned. So the impact on the trade houses or the exporters are at very large. Their values are at the stake. And the going forward also, when the government will come up with the policy for the next season, their trust and confidence will not be there at the current levels. They will think about it, whether they should go for India or they should go for other origins. Because if we see our markets, like neighboring markets, Sri Lanka, Afghan, Somalia, who are our regular buyer, the buyer will also think that whether I should add this flow into our book, whether the supply chain is reliable or not. Prior to committing the next trade, they will think 10 times whether we should go for the Indian origin or not. So I would say that impact has been gone on to the world market. a quantity of million ton or 1.5 million ton is not going to add or deduct anything on the global sugar books. But yeah, the confidence is matter. That confidence has been taken off. Second thing, the way government has came up with the decision, it's not affecting much to the world market, but yes, in the domestic market we have seen, it has sent a sense of jitteriness in the market. Why government has came up? To ensure the food supplies, to have a price control, but result what has been done? International market, it is always detached from the India. There is no effect. But in our domestic market, we have seen the prices rallies, the truths and peaks are there. So I would say the purpose or agenda for the government, why they have come up with this ban, it was not successful. Rather, they should have come up or give some thought on the crop numbers, the methodology. When the crop is coming, I think there should be a thorough, detailed crop tour investigation. We should use some technologies that why again and again we are failing on the crop numbers. There should be something very concrete step about the crop numbers or the some stat we should develop in our country rather than we are just coming out of blue and we are saying that, okay, we have given 1.5 million ton of exports, after 500,000 ton, okay, put a ban on it. We should think on it.
Okay, thank you, Anshul. Obviously, the government has a little bit of egg on its face by allowing more 500,000 tons extra in February, March, and then banning everything in April. I mean, it's had its own impact. It's going to impact the trade going forward. Maybe next year, the exports, or next couple of years, whenever we finally open up exports, you might have to sell at a discount just to, to make people come back to Indian buying. Yes, for us, exports is not a very big issue. It's the third, after domestic consumption, you look at ethanol, and after ethanol, you look at exports. So, but having said all that, what do you think we should, whenever we open up exports, how do you think we should really do it, Rahil? What are the issues?
I think personally, sir, the window for export, is now shut for about 24 months, in my opinion. I mean, that's what we can see on the S&D. But I think there are various ways. At the end of the day, innovation and technologies are today available in order not to have these shocks. We can't be every time a shock absorber. We can't find it. So I personally feel that I was looking at the old historical data about the EU restitution quotas. So what EU restitution quotas used to do was every week come out to say, okay, we are going to sell about, say, 1 million ton of sugar. And as a trader, you would go and engage with the government to take the subsidy or give the premium. So technically, if the sugar market is at 50 rupees and domestic is at 36, you technically will pay 14 rupees to the government, which can be then distributed back to the quota holders. So there is absolutely no loss, no engagement. And you can buy the best quality sugar to export the best quality price. So you can definitely have a refined sugar of, say, my friend Irani here, who can give us 50,000 tons at 50,000 rupees, but I'm not taking out that value. By giving this quota of silly 500 tons, I am actually selling my sugar at 40 rupees. So I'm not engaging into the market. I'm not taking the premium. So I think there are innovative ways. If the trade is engaged, you can get eliminated to say that we don't want to be Pakistan to say, agar LC nahi hai to aap export nahi kar sakte. Dunia have moved on of LCs. There are enough of trust in this factor. You look at the alternative ways is that just if the government wants to be too cautious, for example, just too cautious, give a monthly export quota. If you want to give 1 million ton out of it and you don't know what your crop is going to be, give 100,000 tons a month, and when you know in the month of March you have enough to give it, then just open it up. We are buying 2.2 million tons a month and buying 500 tons, 1,000 tons from each mills. I mean, there are documentation processes. I mean, you can always engage yourself onto the government portal to buy your quotas, and you know the quota availabilities, and you can I mean, there are multiple ways to look at it. But as I mentioned last in the first part, is that the biggest loss is the face value loss. Your ideas goes for a toss. Your brain don't work, and then you are engaged in the politics which is not needed, because you want to do business and earn money, which is, I think, objectives of everyone. But here we are engaging in something which is a post-mortem now. But even after 2 years, it will be the same scenario.
Very interesting insight. And this issue about government selling the quota or doing it directly, how EU did it, maybe some modification to that, and looking at it from India's perspective and doing that, and not having to give all the quota upfront. I mean, you give the quota every month or this thing, so you keep selling quota every month. So whoever feels there is a parity will go. If it not, it will not happen. Maybe that's one suggestion you can make to the government, so that this kind of heart attacks don't take place. Anything on the rice and other grains? How would you suggest that we can modify that?
किरण भाई, कोटा वाला सिस्टम अपने चावल में भी आया है. 23-24 के अंदर में थ्रू अ नेशनल कोऑपरेटिव बॉडी डिप्लोमेटिक अरेंजमेंट के अंतर्गत हम लोगों ने काफ़ी कंट्रीज़ को एक्सपोर्ट्स किया था. कोटा दिया गया था तकरीबन 1.2 मिलियन टन का, बट उसमें से एग्जीक्यूट हुआ सिर्फ मात्र 6 लाख टन. तो वो उसकी वजह से क्या हुआ कि भाई कोटा भी आ गया, रेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड को बोला भी गया कि भाई वी आर फीडिंग द होल वर्ल्ड, बट वो अपॉर्चुनिटी जो थी और वो मैकेनिज्म नहीं था चावल के लिए. तो जितना हो सका 50% तक हम लोगों ने एक्सपोर्ट किया. अनफॉर्चुनेटली उसकी वजह से क्या है कि जो कई और जो कंट्रीज थी वो उसी प्रोसीड्योर को डिप्लोमेटिक अरेंजमेंट के अंतर्गत उन्होंने किसी और कंट्री के साथ में अरेंजमेंट किया. जैसे हमारा नेक्स्ट डोर नेबर है बांग्लादेश, जो राइस के लिए इंडिया पे ही डिपेंडेंट था, आज वो वियतनाम से ले रहा है, पाकिस्तान से ले रहा है, या म्यांमार से ले रहा है अंडर गवर्नमेंट टू गवर्नमेंट डील. तो मार्केट हम लूज कर रहे हैं उसके अंदर में. सेकंड, अभी हमारे पास में अभी वीट का कोटा आया है. 25 लाख टन के 2 कोटे इन्होंने रिलीज किए हैं. वीट प्रोडक्ट्स के 5 लाख टन के, तकरीबन 55 लाख टन का. 55 लाख टन के अंदर में से मात्र 30,000 टन ही एक्सपोर्ट हो पाया है. 30 से 35,000 टन मैक्सिमम साइड में. बांग्लादेश का एक बहुत बड़ा टेंडर और करीबन 4 लाख टन के आसपास में इंपोर्ट करेंगे. अनफॉर्चुनेटली क्या है कि हमारी जो प्राइसिंग है, मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ द हायर एमएसपी, बिकॉज वी आर मोर फार्मर ओरिएंटेड, तो फार्मर्स की वजह से हमारे एमएसपी की प्राइसेस जो हैं इतनी हाई हैं, $40 से $45 का गैप है बिटवीन द ग्लोबल मार्केट एंड इंडियन कॉस्ट. सो कांडला से आप मिडल ईस्ट के लिए एक्सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं वीट, बट ईस्ट कोस्ट ऑफ इंडिया से आप बांग्लादेश, विच इज हार्डली 10 किलोमीटर्स डिस्टेंस, आप वहां नहीं कर पा रहे. सो प्राइस डिस्पैरिटी के अलावा बहुत बड़ा जो एक फैक्टर है वो है एमएसपी का. सिमिलरली अगर हम लोग सब एक पर्टिकुलर पीरियड को रिकॉल करेंगे, 11-12 के अंदर में एसटीसी, एमएमटीसी, पीईसी के थ्रू तकरीबन हम लोगों ने 12 लाख टन का इंटरनेशनल बिडिंग करके एक्सपोर्ट किया था. एंड दैट टाइम वी रियलाइज द हाईएस्ट वैल्यू थ्रू द फेयर कॉम्पिटिटिव टेंडर बिजनेस. बट उसमें WTO के नॉर्म्स की भी कार्गो वॉज प्रोक्योर्ड फॉर द वेलफेयर स्कीम, देन यू आर सेलिंग इट इन टू द ओपन मार्केट. Some or other out 1.5 year that WTO drama took place, but it got settled off. So we need to understand the flow, and we need, as what Anshul has also said, it has to be a proper policy with the help of the industry and for the help of the industry.
Understood. And it is interesting that you're saying that it was MSP that didn't allow you to do export of wheat, whereas we in sugar want a higher MSP. Which is good, which is fine, but that also means that our exports from sugar will also get limited because you'll have a higher domestic price. But that's fine. I mean, if it's helping the farmer, sugar industry exports sugar doesn't take place is also another consequence of that. Anyway, anything else you would like to add, Anshul, to all what you discussed before I close it?
Sir, I would only urge to the policymakers that whenever they are drafting policy or coming up with the policy, there should not be any hurry. First of all, they should be confident on some numbers. Okay, that is the number. That's why we are coming up with the policy and stand with that. I agree that it's an agriculture crop. There are issue of the yields, weather, lot many subjective things which can affect the crop. How we can do? We can give the next export planning into the tranches, like quarterly tranches. At least you give 500,000 ton for first quarter. Let it complete. Then come up with the second tranche. It will give a confidence to the exporters, to the trade house. And why I'm saying that there should not be any hurry. Like in September we want policy. No, it's not like that. Personally, I feel sometimes it's better to miss the bus rather than thrown out of the bus. It will lead us accident only, which is just has happened. So it's a better thing that we should give the export quota in the tranches, let the tranches complete, and have the confidence from the trade houses.
Interesting insight, Anshul. Let's miss the bus, then get thrown out of the bus. That's a very interesting thing. With this, I would then now conclude that there are things that the government can do to help exporters going forward. We may not have any export for the next couple of years, but whenever we start again, I think if the government took more interest in engaging more with the export trade, I think they'll get there'll be less disruptions like we had this year. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming.
Hello. Thank you so much to our esteemed moderator and our panelists. May I please request Mr. Atul Chaturvedi to join us on stage and felicitate the entire panel. Welcome, sir. Let's begin with our moderator, Mr. Kiran Wadhwana. Can we have the memento, please? Yes, and a round of applause for this session and all the speakers. Mr. Rahil Shaikh, Mr. Rajesh Jain and Mr. Anshul Sharma. Thank you. Can we all come together for a group photograph? Thank you very much. Please have a seat.